Greetings my hyper Mech Legionnaires. Today, we're diving into a review of the TT Hongli High Grade 1/144th Gundam Barbatos. But hold on to your seats, because this isn't your run-of-the-mill out-of-the-box review. We're going beyond the box here, folks, because what we have is no ordinary kit. It's a custom-coded masterpiece brought to life by none other than yours truly. But let's not jump the gun. Whether this is a masterpiece or a cautionary tale of what not to do to a model kit is precisely what we're here to uncover. Now that we've got that squared away, let's kick things off by delving into what's tucked away inside this box. And now, let's crack open this box with the cool Hyper Weapon Customs logo. Inside, we've got the usual suspects, a bunch of plastic runners chilling in their plastic home. Nothing too out of the ordinary, until you take a closer look and realize these runners have got a little something that makes them stand out from the usual kit you'd pick up. The only thing that seems pretty ordinary here is the good old printed manual, just doing its manual thing, you know, the usual boring stuff. And now, as we get up close and personal with the runners, your suspicions were spot on all along. These runners have undergone a customized metallic coating treatment. Check out this first one we've got. It's rocking a sleek metallic chrome finish. And here's another runner, coated in a slick gunmetal tone, pretty darn cool if you ask me. And instead of the usual bootleggy yellow plastic, we've got this little runner decked out in metallic gold. That's some serious awesomeness right there. And guess what? We're cranking up the awesomeness even more. Say goodbye to those bootleg quality red and blue plastics. Instead, feast your eyes on these two small runners flaunting their candy tone awesomeness. Straight builders, you can eat your heart out. And as for the polycaps, well, they're just your regular run-of-the-mill ones. I mean, who in their right mind would even think of coating polycap runners, right? And our buddy TT Hongli tossed in a little freebie, a clear white base stand. Pretty cool, right? Last but definitely not least, we've got a sticker sheet to round things off. And hey, kudos to our old pal TT Hongli for stepping up their game. These stickers actually look usable and not as crappy as some of their previous kit offerings. And that concludes our tour of what's tucked away in this custom kit. Now, just in case you're curious about how the runners looked before they got their makeover, here's quick comparison for all you curious minds out there. While the default runners seemed okay, let's be honest, they had a bit of that bootleg crap vibe going on. We just can't have that, can we? Our mission is to take crappy kits and transform them into something far better, something beyond the box. And that's why we gave those runners a customized touch. But I can already hear your thoughts as I show off the coated runners. What about gate marks, right? You've hit the nail on the head. This is the one downside when you opt for painting the whole runners instead of going part by part. And let's be real, the high-grade Barbatos isn't exactly engineered with undergating in mind when it comes to gate placement. Sadly, there's no way around it unless you're up for repainting those visible marks. But hey, at least on some of the smaller parts, like the headpiece, those gate marks aren't as glaringly obvious. I can't quite say the same for some of the larger parts, like the legs, where those gate marks are definitely going to make their presence felt. And let's not forget that when you've coated the runners, there's a chance that paint might have accumulated and thickened on some pegs, making them a bit more challenging to fit. Adjusting the pegs and holes might be necessary to tackle these fitting issues. However, it's worth noting that such adjustment challenges are more common in bootlegs, even before you start painting them. So, aside from the gate marks I mentioned earlier, there really aren't any noteworthy issues to be concerned about. But naturally, the positive impact of coating the runners far outweighs the negatives. And considering that our TT Hongli Barbatos is a cheap-ass knockoff, the customization we've given it is still an extra mile that adds a touch of awesomeness. Of course, for expensive kits, this approach might not be the best fit. However, for our cheap Barbatos, it's a way to highlight its awesome side now that it's all assembled. And here we have our TT Hongli high-grade metallic Barbatos, basking in all its metallic coated glory. The chromatic silver and its shimmer, combined with the accents of gold, truly create a stunning effect. And let's not forget the striking candy-coated red and blue, adding even more to its captivating appearance. This straightforward presentation manages to give this cheap-ass bootleg kit a premium feel that's nothing short of impressive. But as I mentioned earlier, despite being a feast for the eyes with all its metallic shininess and glory, there's a minor drawback. Yep, those pesky gate marks make an appearance on some parts outside of the metallic finish, and we can't ignore the rather prominent seam line on its forearms. These marks can be easily fixed through hand brushing, but in the spirit of keeping this build as straightforward as possible, we'll let these marks stand, almost like a unique charm of the kit. And when it comes to keeping things straightforward, I've gone ahead and used all the stickers from the sheet to fill in the missing colors. Now, I won't lie, some of these stickers are a hit, while others are a bit of a miss. Take these pink metallic stickers on the shoulder armor and the metallic eye sticker, for instance. They provide a nice contrast against our metallic Barbatos. The same pink metallic stickers on the knees lend a touch of vibrant energy into the lower section of the kit. But I must say, those dark blue stickers you're seeing here are, well, a bit lackluster, to be honest. But the red stickers on the side skirt are quite decent. However, I must admit, the sticker crest on the center of the chest is probably the weakest link here. The white background around it just doesn't jive well with our metallic aesthetic. The same sentiment goes for the white sticker on the backpack. Honestly, it might have been better if I hadn't applied it at all. But despite these considerations, the stickers applied to our metallic Barbatos do manage to inject an extra layer of detail and personality into the kit. They help enhance its overall appearance and give it that extra bit of character. And when we're talking about adding some extra character, we've got a unique left arm unit here that you can swap out to transform Barbatos into its original first form. Simply remove the left arm unit by giving it a gentle tug. Swap it out with the first form left arm unit. Take off the shoulder armor, pop in the hands, and there you have it. One of the simplest parts transformations we've got here. And voila, we've got our metallic Barbatos in its first form, an asymmetrical arm, devoid of that shoulder armor, just as we've seen on the show when this mobile suit was first introduced. It's a neat addition they've included here, catering to fans of this specific form. But as for me, I'll stick with the Duke of Hell in its most iconic form. There's just something about this particular configuration that's widely regarded as Barbatos' default look. And having it decked out in its metallic glory adds an extra layer of visual magnificence that truly brings out the character's fierce aura and dominance on the battlefield. That awe-inspiring shine, Dainsleif's got nothing on it. Now let's get into the accessories that come with the metallic Gundam Barbatos. We're about to find out if they can keep up with its incredible shine. I'll be honest, there's not a massive haul here. But let's remember, this Gundam is all about getting up close and personal, crushing enemies with brute force, not a fancy flyer or laser show. So don't worry, these accessories have got what it takes to stand up to the challenge. Awesome, we've got a free base stand to take a look at. We'll dive into that a bit later. For now, let's focus on the Barbatos' signature weapon, the mace. Yep, we're talking about a mace decked out in gunmetal finish. It's like something straight out of the arsenal of the Duke of Hell, ready to bring the hammer down on anyone in its way. To wield this devastating bludgeoning weapon, just slide the handle into its gripping hands, and you're all set. Now this is truly something to behold. The mere act of gripping that weighty mace with a single arm radiates an unmistakable aura of power, as if it's channeling the spirits of the Dukes of Hell themselves. It's almost like a bold declaration that beam sabers are for pussies and this is how you truly deliver a hammer time. Just like in the anime, the sheer act of smashing and bludgeoning its foes into oblivion reaffirms that this mace is the perfect weapon for our Barbatos. And let's not forget, that gunmetal finish adds an extra layer of shine to its already impressive metallic figure. But if you're craving even more striking power, why not go for a two-handed grip? Just slide the other end of the handle into the waiting grip, and you'll be unleashing even greater force. With a flawless balance, this is the way to wield a mace like this. Grasped by two hands, it unleashes the full brunt of Barbatos' force, a clear sign of its wrath and absolute lack of mercy for anyone struck by this colossal mace. Truly a savage beast hailing from the Calamity War. But if the big-ass mace slam isn't your style, you can store it away using this adapter. Just plug the adapter into any of the holes on the backpack. Attach the handle to the adapter, and the massive mace is neatly stored away. Now, you might think I've stored it upside down, but on the contrary, this is my preferred way to store it. No matter the angle you look at it from, you'll have the massive bludgeoning mace showcased behind its back, poised to be wielded by the Barbatos against anyone who dares to stand in its way. And now let's move on to our next accessory, a sleek, sword-like piece coated in gunmetal. This one goes by the name of the Long Sword. Not to be confused with a toothpick for picking up mini mobile suits after a stylish grill session. Unlike the mace, when you equip this, you'll need to remove the handguard. Slide the sword handle into the gap between the gripping hands. Pop the handguard back into place and you're good to go. It's a bit more of a chore compared to the mace, but once it's in, that grip is rock solid, no wobbling here. And what we've got here is a distinctly different vibe compared to when our metallic Barbatos was gripping that mace. There's this sense of lightness in the air, almost like an aura, as you hold this thin and elongated sword. If the mace embodies sheer destructive power, then the long sword serves up swiftness, speed, and precision. It's like the other side of Barbatos, showing that it's not all about brute strength, but also about the finesse to pierce and slash its foes with accuracy. Now sure, at first glance, this accessory might seem like a mere piece of plastic stick thrown in to fill space, but for our metallic Barbatos, it's the long sword that underscores its utter badassness. And if you're not in the mood to wield this, just like with the mace, you can store it on the back using another adapter. Just plug in our long sword, and it's neatly stored away when you're not using it. This is a great way to showcase our metallic Barbatos if you're not planning to display it in action poses. It keeps its accessories neatly stored, ready to go whenever you decide to pick it up again, all while ensuring nothing gets lost. Or let's ditch that lazy-ass pose and go all out by wielding these weapons with both hands for an even more savage appeal. Honestly, I believe this is how it's meant to be displayed. That metallic coating and everything else, it's all leading up to this. No wonder they only provided us with 2 default accessories for our metallic Barbatos, its primary weapon of choice and the 2 gripping hands to wield these brutal weapons. A mighty mace of destruction in one hand and a precisely striking long sword in the other truly brings out the savage beast in our Duke of Hell. And now, let's shift our focus to the non-weapon accessories. We've got a pair of extenders here, each with its own varying length. Of course, these are also coated in gunmetal, but the best part is, they don't look out of place at all. To get these on, simply take off both side covers of the backpack and slide in the curved ball joint end into any of the available holes. Then, reattach both covers on both ends, and voila, we've got a backpack transformation going on that's a bit of a mystery to us. It's a bit odd having something protruding from the back of the Barbatos that doesn't look like any kind of weapon. But after we took another look at the manual, it turns out these are actually arms meant to connect the smoothbore gun, which happens to be a ranged weapon for the Barbatos. Unfortunately, it's not included in the kit and needs to be purchased separately. Come on TT Hongli, you could have thrown this in as a freebie. Speaking of freebies, this bootleg kit comes with a little extra treat, a base stand that's here to support Barbatos in all its aerial posing glory. There's a bit to unpack when it comes to this free base stand, with an adjustable top and a foldable base. Sure, it might not match up to our usual 1/144th action base in terms of the dynamic complexity and range of posability. But having something like this as a small gift from our friend TT Hongli is definitely worth appreciating. Even the Bandai version wouldn't bother throwing in a simple crap like a base stand for our Barbatos here to strike those badass aerial poses. And that's all the accessories for our metallic Barbatos. Even though it didn't come with a surplus of extras, it's undeniably enough to highlight our Duke of Hell as the badass beast it's meant to be. Each piece serves a purpose and contributes to the kit's overall appeal, underscoring the fact that sometimes less truly is more. Now, let's put our TT Hongli metallic Barbatos side by side with this Bandai version. This might get a bit tricky since I've tinkered with the Bandai version in some way or another. Unlike the straightforward comparisons between bootlegs and Bandai's straight builds, where differences are usually pretty evident, this one's a bit of a twist. Both kits have undergone some form of modification, which throws a curveball into our usual comparison routine. Because both of them have been customized, your perception might lead you to believe that there's no difference between the two. But setting aside any differences in the quality of their plastic components, take a closer look, and you'll notice that the face of the bootleg is lacking those vents that the Bandai version proudly displays. But apart from that, it's proving a bit challenging to pinpoint their differences. On the flip side, the absence of face vents for the bootleg adds its own sort of charm. It gives me a 00 Gundam kit vibe, which strangely has its own appeal. Maybe this is one of the quirks of comparing two kits that have been extensively customized and detailed beyond their original boxes. Besides the glaring differences, the nuances that set them apart are a bit elusive. In conclusion, Wrapping up our customized TT Hongli high-grade 1/144th metallic Gundam Barbatos, we've uncovered both positive aspects and challenges. The metallic finishes, including chromatic silver, gunmetal, and subtle gold and candy-toned red and blue accents, elevate the kit's appeal. Stickers add a mix of enhancements and discrepancies, impacting certain areas positively while clashing in others. Though customization introduces obstacles like gate marks and fitting issues, the end result showcases the value of this journey. Our Barbatos transforms from a basic model into a personalized work of art. This journey serves as a reminder that customization turns crappy bootleg kits into imaginative canvases. Is it good or bad? It's a blend of both, revealing the potential within cheap-ass kits and the diverse world of Gunpla customization. And that wraps up our exploration, my Hyper Mech Legionnaires. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember, keep building, keep painting, one Hyper Mech at a time.